Hello everyone, Frank here, and I'm glad that you're here. What could be more fun than taking a test or a quiz? So many things could be more fun than taking a test or a quiz, but we also know that having some sort of meaningful assessment as we're learning something is a very important part of learning and knowledge acquisition. So whether we're learning something new ourselves or whether we're creating a learning experience such as an online course for others, we want to make sure that we have some way to test and assess as we're going through that learning experience. Well, fortunately, I have a perfect solution for anyone creating online courses, and that's the Ispring Quizmaker tool. Now, I've made a few different videos here on the channel about the Ispring Suite for creating really nice online courses. We've looked at things like role plays, we've looked at things like interactions, and today we're going to take a look at the quiz making functionality. Now, what's really interesting about the quiz making functionality of the Ispring Suite is that it's not just a one-size-fits-all tool. There are many different types of assessments that I can build right into my online learning. This is a very powerful way to create different types of learning experiences, short duration, longer duration, where I can go in and have those meaningful assessments as someone is going through this online course. Let's return to our presentation on the West Coast Trail. We've created a really nice course here. We've got all sorts of things that we've put in here. We're going to put in some role plays. I showed you how to do that in a previous video. Some interactions, showed you how to do that in a previous video. And now we want to put in some quizzes. So I've created a couple of quizzes, and it's important to note that we can do different types of quizzes. I just use the insert quiz button. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But we have different types of quizzes, graded quizzes or surveys. And what's really neat is that I can do different styles of quizzes. So for example, here's a quiz where I have a matching activity. So this is a great way just to see if the learner has learnt what I've just shown them in the last module. They can go in and check their work. You can see that they get rewarded. They can do this on different devices, tablets. They can do this mobile. So this is a great way for them to review as well. So lots of ways to build different quizzes, and we can save and close that. We still have our traditional quizzes that you'd expect, the multiple choice question, where you can ask a question, have a multiple choice answer. Again, you can have the learner check their knowledge, get a little congratulations, you passed this quiz. They can review it, take it again. We can put all of these settings into the quizzes when we make them, and I'll show you how. So let's say I have this module here on clothing and gear, and I want to create a quiz at the end of it. So I create a new slide. It doesn't matter what style of slide it is, and I'll just say new quiz because it's going to be replaced with the quiz. So I'll go in, and in this case, I'll create a graded quiz. So this will give a grade, and it'll let the student know I can set a passing grade and such. We have questions. I can put an info slide in there, an introduction. I can group questions together by topic. You can even have branch navigation between groups. So if there's one group that they don't do as well in, I can direct them to a group that maybe is a quiz/review. So you can see I don't have any questions here, so I'll go and put a question in and look at all of the different types of questions that I can have on this quiz. There's fill in the blanks, short answer, matching. A really cool one is the Hotspot quiz. So what I can do is I can ask a question and then I can have an image. And then the learner can go in and look at the image and they can choose the answer or the portion of the image that answers the question. So I'll go and add a file that I have here. So this could be something I get from myself or stock footage. So a lot of these photos are either stock footage or ones that I took when I hiked the West Coast Trail. So I'll bring the image in here. This is stock footage, and maybe a question is, what do I use to start a fire? And hidden up at the top here, you can see I have matches. So I'm going to go in and create a hotspot shape. I'm going to go in and I'm going to drag that over the matches object, and I'm going to give it a name. So I'll call this matches just so that I can locate it easy when I'm reviewing or doing any type of editing. And now that will be question number 1. So choose the best thing to start a fire, and they'll go in and they'll choose the matches. I'll put a few more questions, and I'll put an info slide in here as well. So we'll put a welcome slide in here, and it's going to give sort of an opening screen. We can modify this as well. You can even use audio in here as well, which is really great, especially if you want to have some inclusive learning and such. You can also import questions. So if you've already got a question bank in Word or Excel, you can bring that in Excel or some other format. You can do all sorts of formatting on here. You can go in and do equations. So if you're doing math courses and symbols, again, audio is a great way. So you can have audio quizzes in there. You can translate. You can import a translation file. Two very important tools are the player and the settings. So we'll look at general properties here first. So under general properties, I can give this quiz a name. And this is great for when I want to share quizzes amongst faculty, or if I want to find quizzes that I've used previously. I can do all sorts of things in terms of how quizzes are scored. I can do things like whether I want to score in percentage or number right. So we have a lot of options there as well. You can also set question properties, so the number of points you want per question. You can say whether students can skip questions, all of the different things, whether you want to shuffle the questions, whether you want to take partially correct answers, and how you want to respond to partially correct answers. You can also go in and have a question list. So you can go in and break them into groups there as well, have different lists of questions that you pull from, and then you can have reporting. So you can get the reporting, you can have it sent directly to an email, student email, and of course you can output it to a file as well. So that's a great way to collect the responses that you get, especially in an online course where you might not be there. Now those are the properties of the quiz itself. You can also go into the player. So this is the way that it's presented out to the students. So you can go into the quiz player, and the quiz player in here, you can make modifications to it. So there'll be a welcome in there, and you can choose how the students navigate through the quiz. So whether or not they can do things like allow them to postpone a response. So if they want to skip through different questions, all sorts of ways to really customize it. This is actually a very powerful quizzing engine. So it's very important. You can do things like set color themes and everything as well. And so you have a lot of different tools that you can use in there. You can see as well that you can export it out so you can keep all your quizzes and store them and do all sorts of cool things with them in the future as well. So there you can see that we've got the properties and the player in there. Let's just close that down and we'll save it. So we'll go ahead and save that. And then let's actually preview this quiz. So this is what the quiz will look like to the learner. They'll go in, they'll get a welcome screen. So we're going to see that welcome screen saying, welcome to the quiz. Welcome to the quiz, camping item quiz. And this is for learning about camping items. Here it'll say, click on the item to navigate manually. It's the compass. And they could click out more objects. This is the electronic way to navigate. That would be partially correct. So we'll make this one correct and we'll submit that. And they got it correct. Good for them. And then they can continue and they get the second question. Now these questions were set to shuffle. So other students might get this question first, so on and so forth. There are the matches, which you use to start a fire. They got those right as well. Congratulations, they passed the exam and they can come camping with us on the West Coast Trail. Very, very useful tool, the Quizmaker. Very useful to test students and keep them engaged in the class. Meaningful assessments are an important part of the learning process, and now we have a very cool way to have different types of meaningful assessment built into our online courses. Imagine using this in your own curriculum development or your own online course development, where what you can do is give feedback to the learner as they're learning through the process of different types of quizzes and different types of assessments. That's going to make the learning better, more effective, and actually more enjoyable, even though there are other things you can do that are also enjoyable that aren't taking quizzes and assessments. But it is a great way to add some variety and to let learners know that they're learning. If you like this video, go ahead and comment down below. Share it with others that you think might benefit from this as well. And also, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, all those YouTube-y things. But we'll see you in the next video. I hope this one was useful for you, and we'll make some more that'll help you make even better, effective use of technology for learning and teaching. Thank you for watching.